Didn't build a 7-figure business by being lazy. You built it by being the person who figured things out. The system, because it still lives entirely inside your head. Reason 2. Delegation happened, but ownership didn't. That is the one that surprises people. So, you handed over the task, but you kept the decision. Your team member is doing the work, but they're still checking in with you before anything moves. Now the business does categories, someone needs to own each of them, not just be responsible for the task, own the call. Because here's what I've seen happen over and over. A capable person without decision rights will still behave like an assistant. They'll ask, they'll check, they'll wait for your signal, not because they're incapable, because the structure hasn't authorized them to lead. Ownership is a signal. When you give someone genuine authority, not just a to-do list, but the right to make the call, they stop routing decisions to you. They route them to their own judgment. And that is the shift you're trying to create. Layer 3, decision criteria. This is where your founder brain needs to become visible. You have extraordinary internal standards. You can feel when something is off. You know when the tone is wrong. You know when the client experience has missed a beat. But if that only lives inside you, if it's never been translated into something the business can access, then everyone has to come back to you to use it. So the work is not to lower your standards. It's to translate them. What does good actually look like? What does on brand mean? What makes something client ready? When you answer those questions, even briefly, even imperfectly, you give the business a way to hold your standard without draining your time. Your instinct becomes operational. That's not removing the magic. That's teaching the business to carry it. Layer 4, decision cadence. Not every decision deserves immediate access to your energy. A lot of founder fatigue actually doesn't come from big decisions. It comes from constant micro interruptions. A message arrives, you answer. A question appears, you switch. A query comes in, you pause your own work. All day, your nervous system is being pulled out of depth and into reaction. You don't have to be available to every decision the moment it appears. Some decisions belong in a weekly review. Some belong in a team meeting. Some belong to a CEO day where you're doing strategy, not responding to noise. Building rhythm into the business, regular cadences, defined communication windows, clear times for decisions to be brought, is one of the highest leverage things a founder can do. Because a business without rhythm will always feel louder than it needs to be. Layer 5, escalation rules. This is the final layer. This one is simple, but it changes everything. What actually comes to you. Not everything, not nothing, the right things. You might decide, bring it to me if it affects revenue over a certain threshold. Bring it to me if it changes the client promise. Bring it to me if it creates reputational or financial risk. Bring it to me if the team has worked through the decision framework and still needs founder judgment. That is a completely different invitation than bring it to me because we're not sure. Uncertainty is not always a founder level problem. Sometimes uncertainty just means the team needs clearer criteria. And when you build those criteria, when you make the escalation rules explicit, you stop being the default answer for everything. You become the right answer for the right things. Okay, I want to come back to Sarah. So a few months into our work together, she sent me a message on a Friday afternoon. She said, I went for a walk this morning. My phone stayed home. I came back and everything had moved. Isn't that amazing? Then she said, I didn't know it could feel like this. And I thought about that a lot. Because the goal was never to remove her from the business. The goal was to remove the unnecessary dependency on her so that her presence could be used where it actually mattered. Her brain is not a business system. Her nervous system is not an operating plan. Her capacity is not something to be spent on everything. It is something to be protected, directed, honored. And that's what I want for you. Not a business that needs less of you, a business that uses the right parts of you and can hold itself for everything else. Take a breath. The heaviness you're feeling right now is not the price of success. It is a structural problem, and you now have the framework to solve it. If this landed, here's where to start. The Calm CEO map is $17 US. It's a working document, a map that helps you see exactly where your business is still using you as the system, where the decisions are living, where the friction is sitting, what the container needs to look like next. A lot of founders tell me it's the first time they've seen the whole picture clearly. The link is below. And if you need immediate space, if the noise is loud and you want to reset your CEO energy today, the 7-day CEO reset is completely free. An email sequence designed to help you clear the mental clutter and come back to what is important. The link is also below. But before you click anything, just sit with this one question. Where is the business still using me as this system? Not with judgment, with curiosity. Because what keeps coming back to you is almost always showing you exactly where the next layer of structure needs to be built. You've got this, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.